Everybody knows that if you surf the web long enough, you'll see some pretty heinous shit. This is especially true if you start digging into random spam links, private blogs, demented online communities, or deep websites. Morbid curiosity has repeatedly brought me to places I'd rather forget, so I won't talk about them, but try as I might, I don't think I can ever forget normalpornfornormalpeople.com. I didn't even have to surf the web to find this one. I was just clearing out my spam when I found it was linked in an email that was definitely from some burner account. The email reads as follows. Hi there. Found this site is very nice. Thought you might like. Normalpornfornormalpeople.com. Pass it on for the good of mankind. Pretty standard issue chain letter, although the URL and the last remark really piqued my interest. I was having a very boring day when I got this, so I made sure I had my antivirus working and then clicked on it. It was a very average, very generic looking website. It gave the impression that the creators just barely gave a shit about making it look professional, but it was orange and black, which gave me the impression that it was satirizing Pornhub or something. On the front page was a very long, boring, and incoherent rant that I don't remember or have saved, but it was something about the evils of the porn industry and the benefits of normal porn. The author seemed to have a very tenuous grasp on English, but a somewhat pseudo-intellectual attitude. The site also had a strange tagline, which was Normal Porn for Normal People, a website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality. And from the sound of that, I wasn't sure if I was here to watch porn, if I'd stumbled into some kind of eugenics program, or both. But I was here now, and I was very, very curious to see what quote-unquote normal people got their rocks off to. So I scrolled past the rant, and nothing. There weren't any tabs on the top or side of the page either. It didn't seem to link anywhere else, and I was just about to leave when I noticed that every word of the rant was its own hyperlink. I clicked one of them and was sent to a white page with a very long list of links in the form of normalpornfornormalpeople.com/random letters. So I stopped for a minute and asked myself if I really wanted to waste God knows how much time clicking through random links that would likely just install a virus that would rape my computer. I figured I'd try it for maybe 5 minutes just to see if anything came up. I clicked one of the links and was sent to another page which had a totally different list of URLs than the last one. I was just about to say fuck this when I clicked on the third link and a video download came up. It was called peanut.avi, a 30-minute video of a man, a woman, and a dog in a kitchen. The woman made a peanut butter sandwich and the man set it down for the dog to eat. I first skimmed through it, then skimmed back through it to see if I missed anything, but no. This was all that happened for 30 minutes. It was obvious that the cameraman had to stop filming and wait until the dog was ready to eat again, and the dog seemed rather sick by the end of it. I know what you're thinking. What the hell does that have to do with porn? I have no clue. I've seen a little over 24 videos from the site, and the majority of them had no sexual activity at all. After watching peanut.avi, I went onto a certain image board I frequent to play online show and tell, like I always do with weird shit like this, but someone had beat me to it, a guy who'd received the same chain email that I did. The thread had lots of people with nothing better to do digging through the site, and that's how I saw the other videos. Most of these 24 videos were very uneventful and consisted of people talking to the cameraman in a room with nothing in it but a desk and a few chairs. No wallpaper, no furniture, nothing. The whole room had a very cold, sterile feel to it. The conversations were idle banter about previous jobs or embarrassing childhood moments. I kept expecting some kind of discussion about what the people were filming or what the site was about, but of course, nothing. You would never know if these videos had anything to do with porn if you saw it out of context. I will say one thing though. The people who appeared in the videos, the men and the women, were quite attractive. However, the other videos that actually did feature content I suppose could be called sexual is where things got weird, and I'll give brief descriptions of these stranger videos. LickedClean.avi, a 10-minute video filmed by a hidden camera in which we see a repairman working on a washing machine for the first 2 minutes. When it's fixed, the repairman talks to the owner briefly and then leaves. The owner checks to make sure the repairman is gone, then begins to lick all over the top of the washing machine. This goes on for the rest of the video. Jimbo.avi, a 5-minute video of an obese mime performing his act. We actually found this one pretty funny, particularly one part where he pretends to pull up a chair, then pretends that it breaks because of his weight. In the last 30 seconds of the video, the camera cuts to static briefly, and cuts back to the man sobbing quietly, still wearing his mime outfit and makeup. Diana.avi, a 4-minute video in which the cameraman talks to a woman in a room different from the interview room. This room looks like one you'd find in a normal person's house, but exactly where they are is never specified, as Diana only talks about her violin playing. For the last minute of the video, she plays her violin but keeps getting distracted by something. I didn't notice this until someone on the thread pointed it out, but if you look at the mirror in the background, you can see a fat man in a chicken mask masturbating. Jessica.avi, another 4-minute cameraman video. This time, he's outside a house talking to another young woman. They talk about canoe rides, and the camera zooms out occasionally to reveal the city streets behind them. The strangest thing about this one is that no one so far has been able to identify where the street is. Guesses have ranged anywhere from Europe to Australia to the Philippines, but there's yet to be a match for the streets shown in the video. Someone guessed that the streets were actually part of a movie set, which could make the location this video was filmed basically impossible to determine. Tongue-tied.avi, a 10-minute video. The first 5 minutes consists of an elderly woman making out with a mannequin. The video cuts out like it did in Jimbo.avi halfway through, and the scene changes to a group of mannequins huddled together in a circle around the camera. The lights have been dimmed and the elderly woman is nowhere to be seen. From this point on, there's no sound. Stumps.avi, a 5-minute long video where a man with no legs is attempting to breakdance on a DDR mat in what looks like the kitchen from Peanut.avi, but much dirtier. There is a radio playing music unseen in the background, but it stops at the 4-minute mark when the man collapses on the mat in exhaustion. He breathes heavily and pleads with someone off-screen to let him rest. This off-screen person becomes terrifyingly enraged and yells at him to keep dancing, which he does. You can hear this off-screen person begin to scream as the video ends abruptly. Privacy.avi, the woman from Diana.avi, the violinist if you must remember, is masturbating on a mattress in the interview room, while the man from Stumps.avi walks around the room on his hands, wearing some kind of goblin mask. The door in this room is always closed in the other videos, but it's now open. In this video, the only light is in this room and the hallway is dark. Near the end of the video, you can see an animal quickly run through the hallway. And finally, the last video we uncovered, useless.avi. In this 18-minute and 33-second video, filmed in multiple angles, a blonde woman from one of the previous interview videos is tied down to a mattress in the interview room, which is now covered in filth and illuminated only by a red light bulb. The woman attempts to scream, but her mouth is taped over, and after a few minutes, a man in a black suit and balaclava opens the door, but he doesn't enter and just steps to the side. He holds the door open for the animal that was running in the hall in the previous video. It's revealed to be a completely shaved chimpanzee, with its entire body covered in bleeding wounds and painted bright red. When the chimp enters the room, the masked man closes the door behind it. The chimp sniffs the air for a moment and notices the woman tied to the mattress. It then goes into a frenzy and begins to maul her. The assault goes on for several minutes, and the woman eventually dies. The chimp starts to eat her corpse, and after a few more minutes, the video ends abruptly. The thread exploded with activity after this video was uncovered, and people discussed it long into the night. When I came back to the forum the next day, I found it had been deleted. I tried to start another one, and I got hit with an IP ban. I tried emailing the guy who sent me the chain letter with the site's URL. I sent him 5 messages, and of course I never got a response. I've tried to discuss this website on various places and have been banned frequently. Any re-uploaded videos get deleted after a while, as do most screen caps. Not even the gore sites on the surface web are safe from this. In fact, they don't have anything from this website. Whoever is covering their tracks definitely knows where we were most likely to dump our evidence. There are probably some screen caps for the most benign videos we saw floating around on the surface web, or are just in the possession of those who are on the forum with me. No one from the forum that I knew and have reached out to has held onto their screen caps. Either they didn't mean enough to them to justify keeping them, or after seeing what happened to the screen caps and videos that did get uploaded, they felt like they had to get rid of them. In spite of the belief being completely false because I talked to people on that forum, I feel like the only person who remembers the site. And part of that, I guess, is that I don't really dare to ask the people I know if they remember privacy or useless.avi, because it feels like reopening old wounds, or at least I worry that's how it might feel to them. We had our fun for a bit on the forum, and useless.avi shat all over that, which makes it a dirty topic, I guess. It's not even the worst video I've seen, and it probably wouldn't be the worst video you've ever seen. It's not hard to find cartel executions, industrial accidents, or whatever on the surface web, and those videos are probably worse. Hell, I believe some of them are. But the fact that I can't find this fucks me up. It fucks me up more than the actual brutality. Sometimes I get so close to just looking up blonde woman mauled by chimp in red room video before I just stop myself. I know better than to hope for closure about that website, and I'm definitely not hoping for justice. It would feel nice to see it again, just so I don't feel insane thinking about it. I'm sure the dead woman would feel great knowing that. The woman from Diana.avi is masturbating on a mantis. Mantis? What the fuck?